Hi, Marianne from Georgia. Welcome. You're an early bird. I accidentally clicked live. So, okay. Lene from Denmark. Welcome. Gosh, we'll see. I'm sure people have lots of responsibilities today, or maybe they've slept in late today after an exciting new year. So I don't know how many people we'll see here today. Um, Hello, Karen from Wisconsin. Trudy, Happy New Year. You're here to see my home sewing room. Well, welcome to my home sewing room. Yes, it seems a little messy, but you know what? That's the way it is. Patty from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Kelly's here from Iowa. Keep on coming. We'd love to know where you're all from. I How many of you stayed out late last night? I did not. I went out to an early dinner with some of my neighborhood friends. We had a good meal, and gosh, I think I was home before 6 o'clock. And my goal last night was to finish reading a book. So the book, oh, Laura made it. Lori is here from the Great Smoky Mountains. Kelly's here from Iowa. Yep, come on in. Tell us where you're from and Happy New Year. Yeah, so I finished my book. This year, I read a series of books by Louise Penny. She's from Canada, Quebec area, and she's written 19 books. Her 19th, and I've read 18 of them in sequence. And her 19th book came out in October, and I finally got it from the public library, and I finished it at 8:30 last night. And oh, it has a cliffhanger, so I'm going to have to wait for the next book. Okay, Trudy, yes, we love Canada. Denise is here from Wisconsin. Debbie from Maryland. Denise, yeah, I saw Denise. Denise from Wisconsin. Yep. Okay, good. Well, we'll give it 2 more minutes when I officially start. Oh, so, yeah, actually, it's lunchtime and I'm kind of hungry. What am I going to have? Leftovers, I guess. I have some shrimp in the refrigerator that I did not eat last night. So I think I'll have some shrimp for lunch. Laura says she got home at 2:15 this morning. Oh, and then she was up at 8:30 to make ham and bean soup in the crock pot. So yay, Laura. Now, is she going to be alert and be able to sew throughout the day? Tisha's here. Yep. Jennifer from St. Louis. Awesome. You know about St. Louis. So let's see, November and December, I had 2 trips to Texas. And one, I went for International Quilt Market and Festival, and I flew back during the daytime. And I always like a window seat. And we flew over St. Louis, and I actually saw the St. Louis Arch. And then last month, that first week of December, I was in Quitman, Texas at Stitch in Heaven. And I urge all of you to check out Stitch in Heaven in Quitman, Texas. If you can't visit there, they have an awesome store. But they also have cruises and bus tours, etc. Anyway, when I left their store, I flew back in the evening, and I was next to the window, and I actually saw the St. Louis archway to the west at night. It was all lit up. So I was really a little thrilled. Okay, well, it is noon, and welcome everyone. And Stephanie's here from a very windy day in Virginia. Barbara's here from Oregon. Karen's here from Michigan. So welcome to everyone. Yes, I'm in my home sewing room. This was at one time a guest bedroom, and it is now a home sewing room. I don't have to move my machine or the table. I've got my storage units here. These are very old storage units. I had them refinished. I don't remember how many drawers there are, but they're all full of sewing supplies. And when I had it refinished, I thought, oh, I'm just going to replace all of the knobs. Well, there are 72 knobs between these two units. And I said, forget it. The old knobs have character. So I love that piece. It really helps unite the room. I have a little 4-inch log cabin quilt in the blue and white. I made that many years ago based on a Japanese quilt that was published by C&T publications in 2000. I think it was 2002. So yeah, that, and of course you can see my 8-foot color chart here, because when I do SCHMETZ virtual classes in the evening and on weekends, I do those primarily here in my home. So normally I'll have this twisted around a little bit more so it's more visible. I have a mannequin behind that. And then maybe behind me, you can see between the 8-foot SCHMETZ poster and the drawers there, I have a fully loaded SCHMETZ needle display. Off to the side here, where my hand is pointed, I have the first quilt I ever made. And that was in 4th grade. It was handmade, hand tied, and we made that for Pioneer Days. Mrs. Hayes was my teacher. It was a history project. So yeah, and I'm surrounded with lots of things. I have a signed Mary Englebright print here where it says "Sew" S-O, and she's at a Singer sewing machine. Oh, and then I do have a picture of the Chippendales. Let me just get that. When I went to Las Vegas, what year was this? There's 2013. Oh my goodness. I went to Chippendales and I went alone. They were performing at the same hotel where I was staying, and I was like a teenage girl. Yelling and screaming with my arms up in the air. It was so much fun. And then afterwards, I went and had my picture taken with the Chippendale guys. And yes, I made that top. So that was a business expense. That was a Sandra Betsina pattern with a knit fabric. So I have that hanging here in my sewing room. All right. So let's see. We've got more people coming on board. So that is good. Anne Marie from the Navajo Reservation. Welcome. Let's see. Jennifer's here. Okay. So I hope you all got the newsletter. And Clovis is here from Indiana. So I made a little, if you got the newsletter, if you don't get this SCHMETZ newsletter, how do you do it? Well, you go to schmetzneedles.com, and after about 20 seconds, one of those irritating pop-up messages will come up that'll say, sign up for the SCHMETZ newsletter. So it comes out once a month. And so I created this little collage of pictures of things that I was going to talk about today. And before I forget, so I have a nice sturdy table that came from the original warehouse where we had all of our SCHMETZ needles. And let me just say that these units behind me used to contain sewing machine parts at Brewer Sewing Supplies when it was near downtown Chicago. So when we went suburban, I actually bought all of these units and the table that I'm sitting at today at a very, very good price. So I have my sewing machine right here. I have my lamp source leaning against my lap source. Of course, I've got my Grab It My pad to take to organize my slightly used needles. And yes, I have my own supervisor right here. I've got unicorns throughout the house, including this unicorn right here in my SCHMETZ stein. So these SCHMETZ steins we had at Christmas time. There might still be a few available. I don't know. You can get these either alone or fully loaded with a variety of needles. Oh, and I see another neighbor has shown up. Evelyn is here from my neighborhood. Okay, so let's talk about some of the sewing that I did. Well, you know what? I'm kind of off target so far. So last month, December, the winner of our December giveaway was Lisa Lindsay from Indianapolis, Indiana. So she answered the question, what did she want to receive from Santa? And she wanted to receive a large cutting mat and a new travel iron. So it was really fun looking at all of your answers, all your hopes for Santa to deliver sewing goods. And I hope you did get your sewing goodies this year from Santa. Anyway, Lisa sent me a nice thank you note saying that receiving the SCHMETZ goodie bag was like receiving an early Christmas present. And she was going to share a lot of the goodies with some of her sewing guild members. She said she's kind of a sewing newbie. So she appreciated all the needles and the thread that she received. So, yes, lots of goodies in that bag. So, how do you win this month's giveaway? Well, I'm going to go ahead and just give you the question right now. But to win, you need to stay till the end. So, the question to receive the goodie giveaway this year is you must answer: did you finish or did you create? Did you finish sewing and quilting projects? Or did you create more sewing and quilting UFOs? It's kind of a mixed bag for me. So, did you finish some sewing and quilting projects this month? If you did, go ahead and just say, yes, I completed, let's say, 5 sewing or 5 quilt projects. Did you create any UFOs? I bet you did. I know I certainly did. So it's just a fun question. There is no right or wrong answer. If you finish sewing projects, let us know. Put that in the chat. If you created more sewing UFOs, unfinished objects, put that in the in the um, the chat there, the Facebook chat. So we like to know what's going on. And okay, excellent. So last year I mentioned that I had created a bunch, I had taken grandma's doilies and vintage hankies and created some little gift bags. And I got so many responses from you. People sent me emails wanting to know more information. And I never got another video done, but I thought today, let me just walk you through how I created some little gift bags. There's no right or wrong way to do these bags, but I just hated to keep them in all these lovely, dainty hankies folded up in the drawer. So the first thing I did with the vintage hankies was to divide them into sizes. So I had small, medium, and large. So here's an example of a small hanky. So what I did then, I had my small, medium, and large vintage hankies in 3 different piles. And then from each pile, I married up coordinating hankies. So on this one here that I just showed you, I have this delicate cotton hanky. And yeah, these have been folded, so there are wrinkles. And I married it up with another very dainty hand-stitched doily. So I stitched these together just using a square. So on this one here, I started above the fold line and just stitched down. That looks like almost 2 inches, and then came across and created another corner and then stitched up. So nothing complicated about this, but now I have a little pocket. So in the little pockets, then I added little candies. So I added little truffles, Lindt chocolate truffles, and gave these to my cousins and family and friends. So this is what I have left. So to give you another example, this little bag here is a little bit more colorful, so maybe you can see it a little bit easier. This one would be good for Valentine's Day. So I married up this heart hanky with a white on white hanky, and it's very sheer, so you can actually see through it. And again, I stitched, let me put this down so I can see. My stitch line, I lined it up so it was here at the inner corner of the heart. So I started up here and then I aimed for the inner part of this heart, stitched across to the other inner heart, and then stitched up. So it's just a little box that was formed. And again, it created a nice little pocket. So you could put candy bars, I don't know, love letters, little little sweets, etc. Here is another example that I did. This one is colorful too. So this one, we have the pansies. So I love pansies, especially purple pansies. So nice, nice design. I married it up with another sheer cotton tone on tone lacy doily. And on this one here, I'm going to show you. This one here has, you can see where the netting, the tulle was stitched to the actual cotton. So I use this as my stitch line and stitched from corner to the middle of these little fan corners. So they were nice and even. Again, it creates just a little box. Let's see, let me get this right here. And so you can just put some goodies or a book or something in there. Or maybe if you travel, you can put some little travel items in there. So those were the hankies. I've divided them into 3 different sizes and just married them up. Some of the hankies, they may have had a more circular design. So well, here I can show you on this. This isn't a hanky. This is actually a little doily. And I actually stitched along these scalped edges to create this nice little pocket. So this one I'm not going to give away. This one I used to keep on my my dresser drawer in my room when I was growing up. And I'll show you this one here. Yeah, I'll show you this one here. So these were 2 doilies. And again, I just followed the seam line here of where the crochet or tatting attaches to the cotton. So nothing complicated. I just used universal stitch, a 3.5 stitch, and an 80-12 universal needle. But one of the things I want to show you on this one here is I have 2 like doilies, and I put wrong sides together. So actually, when you open this up, you see the wrong side of this doily. So I'm not going to rip it out. It is done. It is fine. So I remembered that so that on this one here, I put I put, oh, Oh, so this one here, I've got the design down here and also on the top. So I put top to bottom on this one here, so it looked just a little bit nicer. So even those table runners, what do you do with grandma's table runners that are beautifully hand embroidered? Well, again, I just made another little pocket. You could slip a nice little book or a journal in here. I stitched about a half inch from this tatting just to create a nice little pocket. And then what about all of those lovely vintage tea towels? So I did the same thing. I just created these nice little pockets. So this one here, I stitched about an inch and a half from the edge. That's actually the selvage, so I didn't have to worry about finishing the edges, and just created a nice little pocket. And I actually keep a quilt in here that I travel with, so nice and handy. So those, I hope that helps you use up and take care of all of those lovely vintage hankies that maybe you inherited and you don't know what to do with. So, yes, Grandma, I also inherited, dozens of doilies. So I think some of you have probably seen me wear this before. This is a Sandra Betsina pattern. It's Pendleton wool, and I needed to punch it up a little bit. So guess what? I found this orange ombre doily. This was a 16-inch doily. I draped it over my shoulders, and rather than to cut it off, I draped the opposite edge. So I've got this little overlay here. And the doily actually drapes a little bit over my shoulder too. So it looks really sweet. And if you look really closely, you can see there's just a hint of the doily here. Then for the pockets, I think this was an 8-inch square doily. And I used a fusible tape uh, and put it diagonal across the doily, and then I cut it and I stitched on both sides and then cut it and then added trim um, so it wouldn't fray while I was wearing it. So it's been a while since I've worn this, but I thought you would enjoy seeing this. So as many of you know, if you get my newsletter, in November I went on a sewing retreat with my buddies. Rita Farrow, Mary Malari, and Deanna Springer. And we were at a heritage home, which is over 100 years old farmhouse out in the country near the Quad Cities in Iowa. So one of my projects was to use some of those doilies. So in that photo in my newsletter, you saw the picture of the doilies laid out on the dining room table. They're exquisite. So I still have quite a few to use. So I'm thinking, how am I going to use these? How am I going to use these? And then I went into my closet and I found a Talbot's coat that I hadn't worn in many, many years. The great thing is that it still fit. And you know what? Talbot's coat, classic, well made, well made. And I thought, I need to wear that again, especially since I've been traveling so much. So I laid out all those doilies to take a look at them. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to apply it to this Talbot's coat. I'm going to revive this Talbot's tote. So I really wanted to use some of those larger doilies. But when we queued them up, they were just too large. They didn't quite look right. So I used a medium-sized doily and a smaller doily that I attached to the coat. And these doilies I actually hand stitched to the coat. And I started from the inside in the medallion and just worked my way out. And, the coat, these doilies have to move as I move too, and I didn't want them to rip out. So there's a lot of give in here so they won't rip. This one here on the shoulder, me see if I can get this here. I hand stitched here around the medallion, but there's a lot more looseness of the doily again because I'm going to be moving my arm and I didn't want it to rip out. Then I had this piece, look at this continuous piece of crochet. And I'm guessing it was probably from a collar or maybe a little shawl or something that, I don't know what the history was. And so I just draped it over the collar. And this I actually did stitch down through the collar, but it was the perfect length because you can see this last piece right here on both sides is loose. So now I can actually button up my collar and not have to worry about ripping out this doily. So I wore it a little bit and then I thought, oh, I need to do something more to tie it together. So I had two more pieces of a crocheted collar. Two pieces, they were the same length. So I've embellished the sleeves, embellished the hem of the sleeve. So at first I thought just letting it peek through would be a lot of fun. But now that I've worn it a few times, I think what I'm going to do is actually wear it so that this is turned up. So it's more noticeable and it actually gives a little bit more punch to the coat. But I need to go in and secure the lining of the sleeve so it doesn't fall down. So I hope this is giving you some ideas as to what you can do with some of those wonderful things that we find in vintage shops, thrift stores, and grandma's closet, or maybe even mom's closet. So that was a project that I did in Iowa. Another project that I did, some of you may know that for the past few years, Rita Farrow and I have gone to Florida for, I'm just going to call it a fat camp. We go there to exercise and to get on the right track for eating again in a moderate way, moderate and healthy way. It's called Weight Crafters. And last time we were there, which was actually 2 years ago, they gave us book bags. Well, I asked for Rita's back. These are just nylon book bags, and I cut them up. And so I made this banner, and I'm going to send this to the owner of Weight Crafters. I hope to go there again, but the weather has been so hard and stormy that with all the hurricanes that they've had, I'm not sure what their situation is. So this yellow part was actually, a sweat towel. So I just cut it off and then used the rest of the book bag. So this was the front pocket of the book bag, and then you could put a little water bottle here, and then the black part was just the back of the book bag. So that was a quick and easy project, and that's how I like to start when I go on a sewing retreat. Let me find some quick and easy success right off the bat. I have one other unusual project, and if you saw the newsletter, did you guess what these are? Can you guess what these are? I've been saving these for years. How many bras would that be? Yes, these are the inserts to some of those bras that aren't the modesty pads, that are not sewn in. And I thought, you know what? Let me just make a little wall hanging. Nope, Lynn, they're not shoulder pads. They're actually the inserts, the modesty pads for bras. So what I did was it's going to be hard to see. Um, I just did some simple machine zigzag stitches right here. And I thought, oh, isn't that clever? But when I hang it up, guess what? It sags. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's kind of funny. I thought I was going to hang it into my closet because I've got some room in there. I thought I could put a dowel or I could mount it, attach it to like a little wall hanging. So we'll see. We'll see. Then I thought, oh, I could embellish. I could embellish each little cup, maybe even the inside of the cup. It could be dimensional like this. So sewing should be fun, right? Another project I worked on during my sewing retreat was 2 years ago when my new neighbors moved in. They found out that I sewed, and Colleen said, "Oh, I've got some fabric swatches for you." I said, "Okay." What am I going to do with them? So, those little swatches that are like probably 6 inches, and these were chiffon for bridal dresses. And I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to do with these? So I created a little runner. It's not fancy. I cut some of the squares in half, so there's a little bit of interest. For the backing, I took one of those old vintage tablecloths and used it as the backing. And again, everything is like tone on tone, but you can see that tablecloth has that embroidery on there. So it is a little bit interesting. I still have to put the binding on, but I thought, you know what? This is kind of boring. So then I was going through the drawers to see what I could do to zip it up. And I have 4 butterflies. So I'm going to attach these butterflies just to kick up this little project. So yes, that is just one of my UFOs. I should be able to finish that up today. One more project. I don't remember if I showed this last year because I finished this either in December or January. And this was for my friend Laura Koya. Many of you know her of So Very Easy on YouTube. She's got over 1,000 free tutorials on all kinds of sewing, crafting, quilting, etc. And her most recent book is, let's see, let me get the title right. So Very Easy, Quilt as You Go Clamshells. So she gave me about 2 weeks to make this sample. And this is a very clever way to make clamshells because clamshells have this rounded edge and it can be quite finicky. But with her method, they all come out pucker free and are quite easy. So that's Laura Koya. It's So Very Easy, Quilt as You Go clamshells. So you can check that out. All right. How many of you noticed my little pen? Yes, forget the bows on gift presents. My sister had pipe cleaners, so she made this little holly, which I think is really adorable. So I've been wearing it on my clothes. The other thing my sister did for Christmas was she made my Christmas card. And she's not into sewing like I am. She's more into paper crafts. So she handmade this little card here, hand painted. And then there's some tulle here and then grommets, beautiful, colorful grommets. And then she stitched a little pocket. Isn't that cute? And guess what? Here was my gift, a gift card to Ulta. So I have handmade cards hanging or pinned above the doorway to my sewing room. So I'll be adding this to my collection. Well, I have talked a lot here today, and I hope if you've joined us or joined me so far, that you have added in the chat what kind of sewing you've done. Did you finish sewing and quilting projects this year? Or did you create more UFOs? So there's no right or wrong answer, but that's the question you need to answer in order to win today's giveaway. So in the newsletter, well, you know what? We can come back to the later. I have a special guest today. I have a special guest, and her name is Rosalie. And guess what? Rosalie is a neighbor, and Rosalie is addicted to machine embroidery and sewing. So, Rosalie, welcome to my sewing world.
Oh, thank you. I am so glad to have such a creative neighbor.
You know what? Rosalie lives just a few doors down from me, and she has an awesome sewing room. It's the entire basement. And do you get much traffic down there?
Oh, a little.
A little. It's a great space, and it's all hers. So anyway, I asked Rosalie to come today and show some of her exquisite works because she does both quilting and beautiful machine embroidery. So Rosalie, first, how long have you been sewing?
I have been sewing since I've been in grade school.
Grade school, okay.
Just a few years.
And then what happens? Life,
Yeah, you do a little sewing, but then I got inspired by a gal that I worked with, and I took a quilting class, and then of course I didn't do much of it. I did a little bit of it, but then shortly before I retired, I decided that I would really like to do this, but I didn't want to send all my quilts out. So I went to a local dealer, and they had a machine. They said, "Oh, well, you can quilt your own." So I got a Janome machine that was a quilt embroidery machine, and it had an 8-inch hoop. And that's what I did for about 8 years.
An 8-inch hoop.
An 8-inch hoop.
Was that just a tease for you?
Oh, well, it was a tease. And about 16 years ago now, about 16 years ago, I got that was when I got my Janome. About 8 years ago, I got a brother
machine.
And it's an amazing product. I now have, and this is not the biggest hoop now that you can get. I have a 14 by 9.5-inch hoop, and I do my quilting on there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So she's quilting in the hoop.
I am.
And she is prolific. She's always texting me pictures of projects that she's actually finished. Do you have any UFOs?
I finished my last one this month.
Yes. Jeez.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. I'm kind of project oriented rather than,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Okay. Well, let's look at some of your projects here.
Well, first I need to give Rhonda this.
Oh my gosh. What is it? Some of you might guess. So I am a huge fan of limoncello. I consider myself the original limoncelloist, along with my friend Eloise from the Denver area, when we met up in San Antonio for Janome Institute. And that's when we got hooked on limoncello. So, oh yes, I will chill this and take very good care of it. Thank you so much. All right, so let's look at your first project here.
All right. This is a quilt.
You might need to talk just a little bit louder.
Okay. This is a quilt that right now is in my cedar chest waiting for the right recipient. It is
let me stand back here. Okay, you go ahead and talk about it.
It is a sweet pea design, and it's all um, done in the hoop, and it's applique. I have put different addresses that have been pertinent in my life, my children's addresses and old addresses, my husband's address on the houses.
Isn't that a cute idea? So there's 13 houses here that are appliqued in the hoop, and you said sweet pea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sweet pea.
And so she's added, she's machine embroidered the address of some of their homes. So she's waiting to give this to a grandchild, maybe,
Or a great.
or a great grandchild. So it is lovely. And I think the back is really fun too. I like this kind of whimsical stripe that is on the back. Okay, so let's look at the next one. All right. All right, so this is a quilt, of course. Whoop, let's see.
Find the right spot. Here we go.
All right. So this, I think this is a traditional quilt. We've got the squares on point, but I think this is a nice transitional area. If you are a quilter and you're looking for machine embroidery, here's a nice example of how you can add machine embroidery to your quilt. So it's lovely. I love the colors, the thread colors that she's selected. There's 4 different fabrics in here. And again, you quilted in the hoop,
I
right?
did. I do a lot of design by Juju. She does end-to-end quilting, and they work out quite well.
Yeah, let me show there. I think you can see the quilting a little bit easier. Yeah, all those swirls. Do you call those swirls or snails?
I think they're swirls.
Yeah, swirls.
Yeah, I think so.
Paula says it's stunning. Clovis likes it.
So
Yes, that's true, Jenna. I have a very talented neighbor. Look at this. This is machine embroidery. Now, how many hoopings did this take?
Well, I'm thinking 5 to 6. Each of the arms are, I think maybe 5 to 6 different hoopings.
This stands probably 18 inches, I would guess. If I can measure a yard. Oh no, maybe it's like 24 inches.
He can be made bigger also. Yeah.
So look at the boots. I think the boots are really cute with those, these would be like round buttonholes, but those are the grommets to his boots, and they're machine embroidered. And look at his face. Well done.
And he comes from Creative Kiwi.
Creative Kiwi. And where do you, she's got a little a hanging tab on it. So do you hang this like on your front door or?
Well, you can. I have a mirror that I hang them.
Oh, a mirror. Okay. Mm-hmm. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah, Gloria likes this too. Okay. All right.
And then this is just one of the placemats.
All right. Yeah.
That I have, and he has a complimentary runner.
So here's the machine embroidery, and I really like the contrast of this fabric with the this lighter colored background of the poinsettia. I think that's quite striking. So the runner would be, how many of the poinsettias are on the runner, do you think? Probably like 5?
Oh, 4 to 5.
Yeah, 4 to 5. So that's quite striking. Yeah. Okay.
And then this I use as a wall hanging. You could use it as a table runner also.
I'm going to show it as if the camels were walking backwards. Isn't that fantastic? I think the first time I saw this, you had this at the foot of your guest bed. Maybe it was just after you finished it.
Could have been.
Yeah. Yes. Isn't that wonderful? I think you like tone on tone colors.
I do. I do.
So the oh, so this is actually these camels. That's all machine and
stitching.
oh
Yes,
my
it is.
gosh. How many needle changes would that be?
Oh gosh, can't say.
Boy, yeah, very nice. Lots of work. This is not a project you're going to finish in an hour or two. Would this be like a week-long project?
Depends how long you want to work on it per day.
Yeah. But the stitching also looks, it gives the fabric even more texture. So well done. All right.
Okay, and we're getting ready for Easter here, I guess.
Something a little bit lighter and more whimsical. So we've got the little bunny rabbits. And let's see, the bunny rabbits, that's all the satin stitch, applique. Hop, hop, hop.
And that design came from Designs by Juju.
Okay, designs by Juju. Now, is that Australian? Is that an Australian company?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. I should know. I see that name pop up. But isn't that cute? And then she has it looks textured. Just a nice simple back. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love this one here.
Yeah, and this is something I use on my dining room table a lot of the time.
Yes.
Of the year.
Okay. I've seen this on her dining room table. Now, as I show you this, look at all the different quilting designs she's got in there, from the pebbles to the waves to the spirals. I just think this is wonderful. It really gives a lot of texture, at least the illusion of texture. Yeah. So, yeah, love this one. Okay, we've got two more things to show you.
Yes, we've got some pillows.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Oh, now, the reason why I like this piece so much is it's a traditional quilt block. But wow, she's really kicked it up with this fantastic machine embroidery. And I love how the machine embroidery is not confined to this inner block, but it spreads out beyond the center of the block. Okay.
And last
but this is my all-time favorite. I love this pillow. All these beautiful flowers. And did you have a companion piece to this? I don't remember.
I do. There's actually two more pillows, and then there is a quilt.
Okay, so she's got two more pillows and a companion quilt. And I have seen these on her sofa, and they are stunning. And for the backing of this pillow, she's used a beautiful batik fabric. So, hey, don't you think I have a great neighbor?
Well, right back to you.
Well, Rosalie, thank you. Step back in. Thank you so much for being and sharing part of your day with us. I mean, you're an inspiration to get things done, and actually, your workmanship is impeccable. So.
Well, thanks.
And guess what? She uses SCHMETZ needles.
Oh, yes. I have a person that I get a supply from once in a while, too.
Every once in a while, I'll get a text, like in the evening, a 10 o'clock text, Rhonda, I need an embroidery needle. Are you home? So we could meet in the middle of the street.
Yes, we can.
And do a needle exchange.
Thanks.
No drugs involved. Okay, Rosalie, thank you so much. All right. So, wow, what a great afternoon being able to share that with Rosalie. All right, let me see what else I have on here. Okay. Let's see. Now, it's the first day of the new year. And because you're here today, I know that you change your needle regularly. But in case you don't, you do need to change it. Needles don't last forever. And in the newsletter, I put those clues that needles don't last forever. You know, when your stitching starts to look a little wonky, that's a clue you need to change the needle. If your stitches are skipping or your fabric is puckering, those are clue. And don't forget to listen, because when your needle becomes dull, you're going to hear a little clicking, a popping, or if it's really bad, a clunking sound. So a reminder to change out your needle. Okay, what else? Well, we're coming up. That's been 45 minutes. Let me just go in and see what kind of comments we've got. And let me see if we've got a winner here yet. Again, to win today's prize, you need to answer, did you finish or create sewing and quilting projects? Did you finish or create even more UFOs? At first I thought I finished a few projects, but now I think I've created more UFOs than I started. So, and how many of you have like sewing goals for the year? You know what? For some reason, at this time of the year, I haven't really sat down to do any resolutions. I'll probably do that in the next week when I'm a little bit more relaxed. But last night, a thought came to me, and I was thinking, oh, I'm going to make 5 quilts this year. 5 quilts. So I'm thinking, wow, that seems pretty realistic, but I better get started pretty soon. And I have something in mind. It's going to create a little bit of work. And of course, I'm going to have to buy all my supplies, but so I'm telling you right now, I'm going to create 5 quilts for 2025. Doesn't that work? Well, Laura says she belongs to a 52-week sewing challenge group. Just printed the 2025 challenge list. Oh, that's a good thing. Okay. All right. So let me see if I've got a message here who our winner is. Let me get my phone here. And our winner today. Oh, Janine's going to do curtains. Diane finished a lot of projects. Oh, and she's going to give away duplicates. Someone else said UFOs are never ending. I think that's probably true. Lynn says she's going to start earlier to make Christmas gifts. Okay, yes. Good luck to everyone. So our winner today is Gail Maybe from Michigan. She's got UFOs. So, Gail, to win today's prize, you need to send an email to info@schmetzneedles.com, and we'll send us your address and we'll get those goodies out tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be in the office so I can send out the goodies to Gail maybe in Michigan, who has won our giveaway today. And I will tell you that I think it's in June, I'm actually going to be in Michigan. I'm going to be in Ohio and Michigan. I'm going to be gone for about a week. I think I fly into Cleveland, and I'll be in that area to give a couple classes. And then I'm going to drive to East Lansing, Michigan to Country Stitches, and then to Jackson, Michigan to Country Stitches and give a couple classes. So I'm looking forward to that. By the time June comes around, hopefully there's no tornadoes, no snow, etc. The weather will be good. All right. I want to say thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing part of your day with me. It is true that I love to sew and I love to quilt, But even more than that, I love you for being here today and for using SCHMETZ needles. I'm not traveling for the next 2 months, but then when March kicks in, I'm all over the country and Canada and Germany too. So stay tuned, get the SCHMETZ Needles newsletter so you can stay in touch and see what my happenings are. And also, I like to stay in touch with you. Okay, everyone, enjoy your day and so SCHMETZ. I'll see you next month, the first Wednesday of February 2025. Okay, bye.